When you think of the greatest NBA players to never win a ring, names like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, and Allen Iverson, and many more really come to your mind. Ignore those all-time greats for today's video. I am only focusing on current NBA players who do not have a ring. Currently, there are so many great NBA players that are playing right now that do not have a ring. There's young guys like Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, then there's players getting up there in age like Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Chris Paul. I will be narrowing down my list to 5 NBA players who I think do not have a chance and are not in the right fit to win an NBA championship at all in their career. This is something that I like to call a ringless destiny. The goal for this video is to get these 5 NBA players a ring, and there aren't really many rules. I can trade them to whatever team I want. I can rebuild that team, but I just only have one try, man. So hey, if I fail in that one try, that means they're just destined to not win a championship, honestly. And yes, Damian Lillard is the first player we'll be starting with. He's probably in the worst situation out of probably anybody in the league, bro. Honestly, ring or not, bro, he's been on the Trailblazers for so long. They don't help him out, and hey, he's really just wasting his prime in Portland. My first idea wasn't to initially trade him, but then this trade right here really sparked my attention. Imagine Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the same team, and with this trade, we can make that possible. After spinning around what it felt like legitimately hours trying to fill out this team, these were the 3 most crucial trades that I made. Trade number 1 was Gary Payton II and Gordon Hayward for Klay Thompson. I don't know who the hell thought this was a good idea, but whoever really signed off on this trade, bro, they need to get fired ASAP. The second one wasn't even a trade. It was really just me signing DeMarcus Cousins for a steal of a minimum contract, and you're going to see in a second that he actually did pretty good for our team off the bench. You don't have to quote me. I know I said crucial trades. You might be thinking, why is Cedi Osman here? But that's because the Bucks team and the roster was also already good. I didn't have to make that many trades. I literally only made 4, and this was the second most important one, so I just decided to throw that in there. But I'm finna show y'all the roster in this rotation, man. This isn't the most stacked roster you've probably ever seen. You know, at point guard, we got Damian Lillard, we got Klay Thompson, Grayson Allen is actually playing our 3, which is, you know, he's kind of undersized, but he's really good at defense. Got Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Cousins coming off the bench, DSJ, Pat Connaughton, and we're not giving this Carter guy any minutes at all. So this is basically the rotation we're gonna go with. I'm gonna give Cedi Osman some minutes, and really, I'll catch y'all guys at the end of the season, man. Alright, Luka, this is not your video, man. From the Bucks, of course, Giannis made All-NBA first team, while Dame Dollar made All-NBA third. Looking at the standings, the Bucks were the 5th seed in the East. Actually, you know, it's not really that surprising. The East is always pretty stacked. Taking a look at these stats, Giannis led them in rebounds and points and assists, actually, man. That's crazy. Damian Lillard literally dropped 23 points, 7 assists. He could have did better, you know. I honestly expected him to do better. This is one of his lowest scoring seasons of his career. I think he even scored more his rookie season, but Klay Thompson dropped at 19. You know, he's not watching. Look at Boogie, like I said, and Portis, who actually played a crucial role off the bench, and Brook Lopez, who I probably should have traded, but I honestly just forgot he was on the team. In the first round of the playoffs is the Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks end up winning in 7 games. You know, they were down actually 3-1, and Dame Dollar actually played out of his mind, averaging 38 points and 10 assists. But hey, let's not forget about the Miami Heat. They were up 3-1 on the Bucks. They sold the 3-1 lead, but Tyler Hero was going absolutely mental, averaging around 42 points per game in this series, but the Heat still couldn't get it done. Round 2 is against my favorite team, the Boston Celtics. The Bucks beat them in 6 to move on to the conference finals. Klay Thompson and Giannis both balled out of their minds. Damian Lillard took a step back, really just being a facilitator and passing the ball. He averaged around 17 assists on this series, which is honestly pretty crazy for him. But that wraps up this series. Let's move on to the conference finals. Ain't really much to say, man. The Cavs got swept. They're always good on paper, but they can't never win in the playoffs. Yes, Donovan Mitchell did average around 48 points per game, but they still lost. And look how everything comes full circle. Western Conference Final MVP is Drew Holiday. On what team? The Portland Trailblazers. Is Damian Lillard finally going to win a championship, or is this simply redemption for Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton?
They are NBA champions.
Damian Lillard has finally secured that ring on the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo. They beat the Portland Trailblazers 4-2 to secure this championship victory, man. W for Damian Lillard. On to the next player. Yes, one of the most ball-dominant players in NBA history, James Harden, the man who has literally had every single center, every single shooter around him and still cannot get the job done. The man who the Thunder fumbled at literally his greatest chance to win a championship if they just re-signed him over Serge Ibaka. Honestly, I feel really bad for this man, so let's just get him a championship. After spending a couple minutes looking at some possible contenders for James Harden to go to, man, I just decided to keep him on the 76ers, and here were 3 crucial trades that I made. First player I picked up was DeAndre Hunter. It might not seem that important, but y'all finna see why. why it was. I also did a wild thing and traded Clint Capella for Ben Simmons. I don't know why, but hey, I just thought, why not put him on a team and get him a ring as well? Last but not least, Tyrese Maxey was playing horrendous around the All-Star break, so I traded him and DeAndre Hunter to pick up John Collins and DeJounte Murray. Look at this rotation right here. You see DeJounte Murray, that 2 guard, really doing good to back up James Harden, because you know him and defense do not go hand in hand. But looking at this roster, it's very good. Bro, Luka, you do not need all the spotlight, homie. Joel Embiid and James Harden both made all NBA second team. We were the 2nd seed in the East, going 53-29. Like I said, I made those trades, which paid off, because you know before the All-Star break we lost 22 games. Looking at these stats, James Harden led the team in scoring with 27, followed by Joel Embiid right behind him, man. He also dropped 12 assists, which is actually pretty good, and he almost got 2 steals. Him and DeJounte Murray literally averaged 4 steals a game. That's such a good solid backcourt, which is really going to help them in the playoffs. In the first round of the playoffs, we have the 76ers versus the Chicago Bulls. This series ain't really nothing to talk about, man. The Bulls are always first round exits, and the 76ers beat them in a gentleman's sweep. In the second round matchup, it's the 76ers versus the Cavaliers, and as you probably already suspected, they got swept, bro. There's nothing to explain. Yes, the conference finals gives us that classic 76ers and Celtics matchup that I grew up on, man. James Harden and Joel Embiid were too much for the Celtics. They get beaten in 6, man. Jason Tatum always has a stellar performance in the playoffs. That's why he's my favorite player. But can James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons win that NBA championship? We finna find out. James Harden secures Eastern Conference Finals MVP, while in the West, Brandon Ingram and the New Orleans Pelicans are going to the NBA Finals, man. That is crazy, and he wins Western Conference Finals MVP. The series is currently tied 2-2. Everybody on the Pelicans is going absolutely out of their minds. Brandon Ingram's dropping 35 points, 38 points. Zion Williamson is literally snagging boards over Joel Embiid. It's crazy. DeJounte Murray and Ben Simmons are absolutely having a stellar defensive performance in this series. Now let's see who will win the NBA championship.
And they've done it! The Philadelphia 76ers have won the NBA championship.
James Harden, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, they win their first NBA championship, and James Harden also brings home that Finals MVP. Now, you can't have James Harden without Russell Westbrook coming right behind him, man. I still don't know who thought it was a good idea to have him and LeBron on the same team. His stock is at an all-time low because every team he goes to, man, he doesn't do anything good for that team. But, you know, him being on the Lakers just made everybody forget how good of a player prime Westbrook was. And just like James Harden, man, I really feel bad for Westbrook because, hey, he's a player who needs shooters around him, and the Lakers are just not that, man. So let me just get him on a new team and get him a ring. Alright, so my initial trade was to the Miami Heat for Victor Oladipo, but then after spending a decent amount of time looking at the assets, I realized that the Heat actually have no assets. I can't move anybody because like every player's stock is incredibly low. Literally can't get anything for Kyle Lowry. I wasn't getting anything from Bam Adebayo. I wasn't even getting anything for Jimmy Butler, even though I didn't want to trade him. So I decided to trade him to the New Orleans Pelicans, and here are some crucial trades that I made. I only made 2 trades because the Pelicans are already a really good team, so I traded Dyson Daniels and Jackson Hayes for John Collins and Clint Capella to come off the bench. For the last trade, I got rid of Najee Marshall just to get Jose Alvarado back as my backup point guard. Here's the rotation right here, man. It's a very well-rounded team. You got Westbrook, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas with John Collins and Clint Capella off the bench. Really good team. I think this is the best team of the whole entire video right now. We're gonna win the championship so easy. No comment whatsoever. The Pelicans were the first seed in the West, actually the best team in the NBA as well. Looking at these stats right here, Zion led us in scoring, averaging 23 points per game with 7 rebounds and 3 assists, a steal and a block, man. Brandon Ingram's right there next up. CJ McCollum, Westbrook doing pretty good too. First round of the playoffs, it's the New Orleans Pelicans versus Sacramento Kings. Nothing to really say here. The Kings got swept, unfortunately, but it wasn't really that surprising. The Denver Nuggets also got swept in the second round. Maybe I should include Jokic in this video, man. Sheesh. Conference finals is the Dallas Mavericks versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Luka Doncic literally only got 1 game on us just because Russell Westbrook and CJ McCollum aren't the best at defense. But with that being said, the New Orleans Pelicans have moved on to the NBA Finals. Can Russell Westbrook actually win a ring? We about to find out. So Zion Williamson actually wins Western Conference Finals MVP, while Donovan Mitchell wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP, dropping 43 points per game, man. This was definitely the hardest task for Brody and the Pelicans. The Cavs straight dominated the rebound numbers and the pick and roll game. They started off 2-0, but we finna see, can the Pelicans come back? And can Russell Westbrook secure his first ring? In Game 7 of the NBA Finals, it was a close matchup, but in the fourth quarter, down by 10 points, Russell Westbrook and Jonas Valanciunas went on an absolute clinic. Jonas was blocking everything and snagging every single board, while Russell Westbrook was getting contact dunks left and right. And that performance in the fourth quarter went on to help them win the NBA championship. That whole entire Pelicans team basically gets their first ring, and Russell Westbrook also brings home Finals MVP. And ain't really much I can say about PG-13, bro. Like, I honestly, I don't know what to say, bro. The Clippers suck. Like, Kawhi doesn't play basketball. But, you know, this clip right here is extremely self-explanatory to why he will never win a championship.
George, way off. It's the side of the backboard.
Boy, if you don't...
I actually decided to keep PG on the Clippers, and here were some crucial moves that I made. The very first thing I did was sign Carmelo Anthony. One, because the Clippers are lacking at power forward, and two, I'm going to actually play him decent minutes just so he can also get a ring as well. Because, you know, Melo need one too. Melo got to win too, bro. These two trades right here are definitely the biggest ones of the video. You see right here, trading Bobby Portis for Jared Allen, and then Lauri Markkanen for Tyrese Halliburton, bro. The Clippers are definitely going to win a championship. I know I said last team was the best one, but this is definitely the best team of the video, bro. No cap. Looking at the rotations right here, man, we got Tyrese Halliburton, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Carmelo Anthony at the 4. We got Jared Allen, Brook Lopez, John Wall, Gordon Hayward, man. Hey, now let's get John Wall, Paul George. All those players need a ring too, bro. All right, so Paul George made all defensive second team, and the Clippers were the first seed in the West, going 55-27. Looking at the stats right here, Paul George led us in scoring, dropping 27 points per game. Kawhi Leonard was right behind him, and Carmelo Anthony dropping 14 points. You know, he still doesn't pass the ball, but he was playing about 36 minutes per night. Obviously, we could have got more production out of other players, but I was trying to play him as many minutes as possible. Same thing with John Wall right behind him, dropping 13 points per game. To keep this video short, I'm just gonna sum up the playoffs. Dame and the Trailblazers got swept in the first round, while Zion and the Pelicans got gentlemen swept in the second round. Surprisingly, the Timberwolves actually made it to the conference finals, and they got gentlemen swept as well. And the Clippers are going to the NBA finals. So Kevin Durant wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and the Nets are in the NBA finals, man. Kawhi Leonard picks up Western Conference Finals MVP, bro. This might be a good series, man. The Clippers are up 3-1. Can Paul George and company say bye-bye to the Nets? We about to find out. It is the fourth quarter, game 5 of the NBA Finals. Melo hits one of the craziest post-fade three-pointers you will ever see in your life to put the Clippers up by 3, man. It just don't end at that, man. With a couple seconds left in the game, Paul George rim runs right on Kyrie, explodes to the basket, gets an and one, and puts the game away for the Clippers. And just like that, man, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, bro, John Wall, Tyrese Halliburton, bro, everybody you thought that didn't have a ring doesn't have a ring on this team, bro. Melo, they got a ring. They got a ring, man. They got it done. And the man himself, PG-13, wins Finals MVP. He did not sell in this playoff series. He did not sell in the finals. He went absolutely crazy, and he brought back that Finals MVP and got himself a ring. Yes, how could I forget about CP3, man? Chris Paul, CP 0 rings. If y'all been watching the channel for a minute, you know CP3 has an extensive track record of just completely selling in the NBA Finals. Chris Paul calling for another pick and roll, man. He throws a turnover, man. CP3 posting up in a high mid-range on Marcus Smart. He gets a screen. That's a wide open midi. Chris Paul, that's your shot, and he bricks. Bro, why does CP3 have the ball? That's a terrible shot, bro. What is he doing? CP3 is absolutely selling right now. You know, this video is already running kind of long, and I could have just sat here and wasted your guys' time, but here's a lineup for anybody who's interested. But man, Chris Paul's bad luck on the channel is going to continue. Like I said, bro, I'm just gonna skip up to the final. I'm just gonna ignore all the playoffs, bro. I'm just gonna show y'all what happened. All right, so here's the bracket right here for anybody who actually cares and came this far in the video, man. Like literally second and third round were just foreshadowing for the just terrible events that are about to happen for Chris Paul. I know this is so anticlimactic, bro, but I'm trying to save y'all some time. Chris Paul is not destined to win a championship ever, bro. He's been in 3 of my videos so far. All 3 of those videos on the channel, he has not won a championship. He's just completely sold. In game 7 of the finals, he just completely disappears, bro. I mean, hey, I can't be mad. Jason Tatum got a finals. He got a chip, bro. I can't even be mad, yo. But Chris Paul, man, he's gonna keep disappearing on the channel. His string of bad luck continues, but I don't think I can help this, man. I really don't. Hey, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and check out some of these videos up here that are on your screen. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Peace.